It's your boy, Ed the Dread, aka Eddie Money Mouth, and you are tuned in to the Money Mouth Podcast. Yes, sir. Bam, 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 bam. Aloha nui kako. Ho'omai kaiana. Iko oko. Puka kula. Bam, bam. Congratulations to all high school graduates. Yes, sir. Today was graduation day for Baldwin High School. And yesterday was graduation for Maui High. And during this week, we will have all other high schools on island perform their graduation ceremonies. So big up to all of you that have spent all of your childhood and adolescent lives in public education and are now going to leave it and step out into the real world. Congratulations. Hope to see you in the workforce. Maybe. Or hope to see you in college. Whatever you choose. It's up to you. So today, the topic of the Money Mouth podcast will be, maybe a story or two on my graduation, some tips that I have for those of you that are going out into the world, and maybe even how I chose my major for college, for those of you that are going out to college. So, first and foremost, I graduated back in 2001. Whoa, old guy. Bow. First graduates of the new millennium. Oh my goodness, can you believe it? Did a full year in the 2000s. Graduated in 01. Those that graduated in 2000 actually spent half their school year in 1999. So, for those of us that graduated 2001, we had 2000 and then we graduated in 01. So, we were first in the new millennium. Yay! But a lot of differences between graduation where I grew up and graduating here, right? We had the Daughters of the American Revolution Constitution Hall rented out for our graduation ceremony. And the graduation ceremonies here are just done at the school stadium. Those of the two schools that are in town, Baldwin and Maui, they do it at War Memorial Stadium. So they share that big stadium for their ceremony. With that said, after the actual ceremony, there's way more stuff happening immediately. The first year that I witnessed graduation, I was working it for Baldwin. I sat up in the top after having parked people around the parking lot. And, once the ceremony was over, I took off. I saw a big mass of people going in one direction, and I was like, swerving, went the other direction. I'm going home. And the next day at school, everybody was like, yo, where the hell were you for the lei giving? And I'm like, I see all these pictures of people with like leis stacked up over their head. And I'm like, I didn't know that I was supposed to go to where all the people were walking to. Where we have our graduation, it's like this freaking, historic place in DC, and you have it rented out for a certain amount of time, and you're only allowed to be there for a certain amount of time. So it's like you drive all the way into DC, damn near the White House, try to find parking the best you can, and then you wait in line outside, get in, get out, and that's it. You're in the streets, and they go, get the hell out of here. It's not like hey, there's a park or a place to go right up the street. It's like graduation's over, go home, and you got like an hour drive home. Good luck. So here, graduation's over. Some people didn't even go to the ceremony. All they did was go to the field to give leis. So once the graduation ceremony's over here, everybody just goes from the one spot to the next, and like everyone and their mama is there, possibly with a sign that has your graduation picture and or maybe like a built-up stage or some crazy crap, and like your whole family's there and all your homies come and give you leis, and then like everybody's got leis stacked up over their whole freaking eyeballs and they can't even see nothing, and then it's a big celebration. So huge difference there, right? Like we literally had no opportunity to celebrate immediately when the thing was over because your vehicle might be getting towed outside by the DC Metro. Oh man. So other than that, just the simple fact that the ceremony is held like at school, right? I don't remember a lot of things being done like at school like that. We didn't have like our banquets at school. We didn't have a lot of stuff going on at school. It was always at some other place like a fire hall or something that was rented out. So just the majority of the ceremonies for graduation here are actually held at the school on the school's campus, which is much different. Maybe what we would consider our most country school, like Damascus, that was out in the middle of nowhere. I think they had their uh, graduation on their high school, like, because there was like nobody there. It was like, oh, your high school's so little, you don't got to get uh, Constitution Hall. You only got like 25 people, so just have it on your baseball field. They were all baseball players. Like that was it. Uh, so you know, during my high school career, I was an athlete, and I tried to be cool, and I definitely tried to fit in. So with that said, I ended up not being so nice to a lot of people. And then fast forward to my 10-year reunion, and I've changed from this maybe wannabe urban suburban kid to just who I really am, just like a surfer, skimmer, skater, coach guy. And all of the actions that I had done in high school, I felt really bad about. And when we went to this 10-year reunion, I got wasted first and foremost because I was trying to take a shot with all the people that I had like fucked with. I was like, oh man, like fucking just apologizing to you. I'm so sorry, man. I can't believe all this bullshit that I put you through when we were kids. There's some shit like you want to have a drink with me, and I don't remember what the bill was on my credit card. But it was something dumb, which I look back on like, damn, how am I going to pay this at the time, right? But for my like soul, it was great. I actually got to talk to these people who I might not have been so nice to, and probably made their experience not so great at times. So like I do recall like not recalling how the hell I got home. It was like I definitely drove there, I think, but I was way too wasted to drive home. So like somebody else definitely took me home, and the next day I got taken back to the place where the event was, which I think was like I think we might have rented out like the full bar of like a restaurant, some new restaurant that was in the area or whatever. But other than, making amends with people for like the shitty ways that I treated them in high school, one super cool thing was that, the technology at the time allowed us to like literally like web broadcast with people that were in other places. Right. So like a lot of us had come home for the graduation, or I'm sorry, for the reunion, right? But then some people live on the West Coast, and like we just had laptops like hooked to the Wi-Fi at the restaurant, and like literally just like boom, like had like our homie on the West Coast like blink in, it was like, oh shit, like this guy's at home taking bong rips, like, oh, that shit is crazy. So that was pretty cool for 10-year reunion. Which again, damn, now thinking about that now, that was like almost 10 years ago, or over 10 years ago. Ah! Oh man. Uh, but like I said, I would also maybe like to throw some words of wisdom out to those of the people that just graduated in their journey in the future. And my step into doing that will, be led by how I chose my major. Okay. And the reality of me going to college was that I went to play soccer. I didn't really look so much for the education. It was like I knew I had to have a certain grades and a certain SAT score to like get into college, but it wasn't like, hey, I'm going there to go, like I really want to be a teacher, so I'm going to be in education, or like I really want to do this. I was like, I just really want to play soccer. So just get me the scholarship and get me where I want to go, because I'm trying to go pro after. And that was like my thought, right? So by your sophomore year, generally they want you to choose your major. Now, I hadn't done that. I was at a school in Pennsylvania with an advisor who was like the head police guy on campus. It was like brutal. I didn't like go. I had to go to like the police station to like go talk to my like academic advisor. It was like horrible. It's like, especially for me, black dude in the fucking middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania, around a whole bunch of white religious people. Shit's just not, not the tightest thing you could be doing. Uh, and homie had no fucking real advice whatsoever. He had no nothing to ask me, nothing to tell me, nothing to advise me on at all. So it got to a point where it's like, yo, you have to choose your major, and I didn't know what the fuck I was gonna major in, and they had this like career fair. So I just got super stoned, walked into the middle of the career fair where there's like, booths all around the outside of whatever building it was on campus. And I just stood there and go, yo, I think I'm fucking funny and I want to make commercials. And they were like, marketing department, come over here. And that was it. And then I became a marketing major. Which worked out great. I mean, in the reality of what I do in my existence, it is the best degree that I could have, to take all my creative content and all the music that I create and actually have a degree to use to help to blast that out to the world and to get the ball rolling, is good, because I do have a lot of information and stuff that I saved from college, which, once I'm done working this school job, I'm going to put to use. But, other than how I chose my major, which is, again, leading into advice, which is you don't have to have it all figured out, right? Like whether you're going to college or whether you're going into the workforce or whether, you're taking a year to travel, whatever you're doing, you don't have to have it all figured out. Bro, you're like 18, right? Like, I feel like young people have this idea in their head that once they graduate, like they're adults, which one isn't true, but also like that, now you should be making choke money, you should get your own house, you should have all your own stuff. And that's just not the reality of existence for a lot of people who are adolescents that go, or even like their mid 20s, 30 years old. But because of social media, you probably see a lot of people who are like your age and might be super rich, or like maybe a little bit older than you, are like, yo, I got rich off drop shipping, and like making up bullshit that like somehow is making you think they're rich and they're probably not. Right? But you really don't have to have it all figured out. Life is like life's a pretty long ride, right? You don't it's when you're 18, 17, 18, even if you're 19, it's like they want you to make this decision on what your major is and like what you're going to be doing for the rest of your eternity for your job or something when you're still pretty young, you're pretty green, you might not even have an idea of like what you like doing. Which is my second point of advice. Do whatever it takes to be able to do what you love. Right? And it might sound weird, but you just have to do what you love, whether it's surfing, skating, skimming, playing soccer, playing music, doing art, being creative, fucking walking dogs. I don't care. Whatever it is that you love to do, like make sure that you do that thing. Okay? And if you don't go to college, right, and you don't have all that free time to yourself to be able to like focus, because that's one thing, when you're in college, you do have a lot of free time. Like you're gonna have to go to class maybe 2-3 classes a day or whatever, or fuck, you might even schedule 5 classes in a day to try to have 1 or 2 free days during the school week, right? But you're gonna have free time, and a lot of people kind of just waste that time and like end up having maybe horrible habits and come out with I don't know, debt and other problems. I'm not gonna go deep into like the issues that could happen with having too much time and partying and everything. But we'll say that when you have all that free time, put it to use. Become better at something. Be practicing something. Be training something. You don't have to be training to win a championship, but be training to be better at something or to be better human. Because life's too short, bro. Like even if you go into the workforce, like you might have to work a job to get to the job you want, right? You might not always get that thing you want immediately. So, I mean, I played professional soccer, and during the time I was playing professional soccer, I literally worked at Blockbuster checking in movies, right? Like I had to pay bills. The contract I have didn't pay all my bills at the time. In the off season, I didn't get all my bills paid. So, I was a pro soccer player, but I was riding my bike to Blockbuster at night and literally scanning in movies and putting them up on the thing. That didn't matter to me. Some people might have thought that was lame. Some people might have made fun of me for that. But like that shit did not matter to me, whatever. I would proudly go back and scan in Blockbuster movies to play pro soccer again. No fucking question about it. Right? Like at the moment, I'm trying to make a whole lot of things happen. But I still work a job at school. I still work a job as a coach. I still work a job as a referee. And then I work a job as painting, cabinet restoration, coconut trimming, all sorts of stuff. Just to do the few things that I really, really like to do, which are really like riding waves and making music, right? So you really are going to have to do whatever it takes, right, to be able to do the thing you love. And don't ever forget that. Don't give up on doing the thing you love, right? It's why you're here on Earth, right? Just to enjoy your time, realistically, okay? Lastly, life is a marathon. It's not a 100-meter dash. Okay, so keep that in mind. Like, you don't have to be super rich when you're really young. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to have a huge car. You don't have to know what your major is. You don't have to have all of this stuff figured out, right? Just stay focused on what you love and where you want to be and what you want to become, and just let the universe guide you to that while you work hard, right? But realistically, like a lot of kids that see me run and see me do athletic things, they end up wanting to challenge you. And, the challenge is, race me, right? And every kid wants to race me in a 100-meter because they know I can't sprint, right? Every kid wants to race me in a 200-meter. I've never been a good sprinter. They've seen me on the track as not a good sprinter, right? When you say race me in a 400 or longer, everybody backs out. But that's how life is, right? Life's not just a 100-meter. The 100-meter is like high school. And then like after that, you got fucking, hopefully you make it 26.2 miles. Maybe you make it a 100-mile race, but you like, life's not just this blink. Right? Like your childhood, maybe when you're my age, 40, you'll look back on it and go, wow, that all happened so fast. But fuck, I'm not even halfway through this existence yet. And people think I'm old, so just take that into perspective. All of this that's happened to you so far is a very short piece of the big, long perspective of your life. So, don't get caught up in everything has to be figured out. I have to have accomplished all this stuff already, right? Long road ahead of you. Life's a marathon, like Nipsey Hussle said, baby. Keep it pushing, right? Again, congrats to all the grads. Y'all are out there in the world now, baby. Make the best of it. Make your parents and your name proud and represent yourself fully. Do what you love and do it with passion, baby. And we will see you at the top. Click subscribe, click like, share if you care. If not, I don't give a fuck. Love you anyway. Gonna keep doing it, baby, baby. Eddie Money Mouth coming at you. A hui ho, kako.